Hi folks, how are we doing? Welcome back to Loving the Lingo. As you can see, she is in the workshop and she is a bit of state. Before we get into the video though, please do me a favour, check out my Patreon. Also, please consider supporting me on this hair growth for the Mankind Initiative. It's getting out of hand now. We've still got several months to go as I'm recording. Look at the state of that. Yeah, anyway, so... Ouch. Ow. Sorry. Scab on my head. Yeah, so the reason the van's in the workshop is we actually pulled her in because she's got some, well, she had some wiring gremlins. The alarm was playing up left, right and centre. 1 minute it would work properly, next minute it was going off every time a bus went past. And considering right outside the flat is, or where I live outside the flat, there's a bus stop and the buses go past every 15 minutes. I was getting peed off, and I can imagine the neighbours were getting peed off, so stripped it down and sorted it out. Anyway, that's by the by. You're not obviously seeing that because it's the alarm, but while we got it in here, we decided that we're going to be doing some other stuff as well, just get some stuff buttoned up. Michelle's done a video. I don't know whether that's coming out before this one or after this one. Either way, go check it out. She started doing some of the bodywork. She's learning. The joy of this is, you know, it's a donkey old van. Yeah, it's going to be an advert for the business and it will look nice, but the way we get there, we can cut a few corners and stuff like that. It's not like a restoration where everything's got to be prim and proper and perfect. So anyway, going back to the thing at hand. The thing that I want to tackle today, or in this video, I don't know how long it's going to take me, is this. Ever since I've owned this van, which is best part of 3 years now, this is the bonnet catch. It's an old dipstick that's cable tied to the bonnet release there, and that's it. It's worked fine. You can see how long it's been there. It's rubbing through the grill and everything. It's just flapping around in the wind. So I want to address that. Now, this is the original, or what's left of the original latch for the bonnet, which you cannot get anymore. And then not only that is the way, I don't know whether this is actually going to come up on camera properly, the way it actually attaches there, the cable attaches, all this clip's broken, and you can't get this bit either. So we're going to make something. Now, one thing that, sit down. One thing I always wanted to do with this is get rid of this badge and sort of cut this out and then put a mesh behind it so it looks a bit better. So my plan is to then make a lever under here, and there's plenty of room, so that's what we're going to work out. So give me a second, let me get this grill back off. I mean, it's not attached, but it's a pain in the ass getting off. It's clipped in under there. Let me get this grill back off and then I'll show you what the challenges are with this. It's not as straightforward as it may seem, just to put a thing in there and do that. So the challenges that we have, first of all, is the actual distance from there to there. You know, you can see it sort of goes up there, and then I've got to try and get my hand there with that lever there. Now there is ideally a nice big cut out here where the original cold air feed went down. There was a big airbox down there, and then there's a pipe that run down, and it was all broken when I got it, so I ripped it out, and that's why there's a cheap ass nasty cane fit. Well, it is a donkey old diesel. It wasn't for performance. That's what I had. That's what's getting fitted because I couldn't find an airbox for it. So yeah, the challenge is, one, being able to reach. It's got to come out and be sort of around here somewhere. So then we've got to make obviously 2 plates, one this side, one that side. Then the other thing is it's got to go that way and a push. There's not a lot there to get onto, that cable tie, spring and stuff like that. So yeah, there's many challenges involved. I've got this little bit of bar off of central locking solenoid, which I think should work with that. You can drill a hole in it and do that. But then I also want to make it look as neat as possible. I don't want just under here. It doesn't matter too much as long as it's a nice lever that I can get to and not cut my hands to pieces, you know. But when the bonnet's open, I would like it to look relatively tidy. I mean, it doesn't at the minute. Obviously it's pitch crap, but things will get done. So anyway, right, stop rambling, Daniel. Right, anyway, I've got one of these. This is the internal door handle for one of the rear doors, which I managed to pick up, and I was like, oh, that might actually work. Could sort of do something in here, but the problem is it's got a pulley thing and it goes the wrong way. It needs to do a pushy thing, and then turning it around it goes the other way. So it's just like, I've been procrastinating about this for quite some time. Probably about 2 hours today before I've even started this video. I've been looking to see what scraps and crap I've got, and I've looked at this and gone, how long is that going to take me to modify and mess around with, or shall I just start from scratch and see what I can come up with? So yeah, as you can see, it's not going to be as straightforward as you may expect. There's going to be a lot of head scratching, and I'm going to say a lot, hence why there's a counter up here somewhere. That's just going to be the theme of this video. Ideally, this would be something that you tackle with a milling machine and a lathe, so you can turn up little bushings and you can make brackets and stuff like that. No, I'm going to use the scrap pile. The only metal that I've got thick enough to do the job is like box section and stuff like that, so I've got to cut it out of the box section or use slightly thinner stuff and then work out a way to then put pressing marks in it to then add strength and stuff. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of head scratching, so I'm going to try and film as much as I possibly can to show the process of what I'm doing and how I work things out. I'm going to try and incorporate all my cock-ups as well. It's not going to be ta-da, here I've done it. You know, it's going to be a long-winded video, so I'm not going to hold it against you if you decide to skip through or decide to just sod off and just go, yeah, I'm not interested. But if you are interested in the process of, you know, a tiny short childish man sort of throwing his tools out and spitting his dummy out every 5 minutes, then carry on watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. I can't imagine me talking much. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm making this up as I go along. I've not really made a bracket of this degree before. You know, I've made loads of brackets to house something. You make it out of cardboard and go, yeah, that does that. That's got to hold that. It's got to clear that. But to do something like this is going to be a learning curve for me. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a learning curve for you. Or you'll just have a good laugh at me failing miserably. Either way, you'll see what I'm doing. Right, I've had a bit of a brainwave. You was probably screaming at me, you know, as you was watching anyway. So right, I've now cut the old dipstick off, and that's, you can sort of, hopefully you can see, there we go, look, that's the old clip that was supposed to hold the whole, the original cable, and then for a pull. And then sort of once I took that off, I actually did a check to make sure that the this push rod was strong enough to do a pushy push and actually release the catch, which it is. I thought it would be, but I wanted to check anyway, you know, especially over the distance. But while I was doing that, it suddenly dawned on me, I don't need a lever. I could actually do a push. Like I said, in the grill, I'd like to cut all this crap out and put a mesh behind it, and then just have like a push button. So I went through all my crap, and I've got this 6mm stainless rod, which I reckon will go in there and be absolutely beautiful. So right, I'm going to clear the bench up. I'm going to start making some cardboard bits and do a little cam and a proof of concept to make sure all of this will work. So this is what I'm going to make to start with. It's not going to be an easy little plate to make, to be honest with you, because of that recess there. So it's fairly flat there, so I'm thinking making it square this end and then do the teardrop this end and then have it bolt here and here. I'm not sure, we'll see how it looks. For the minute though, with the cardboard, that's what I'm going to do. It's just going to be square at the front here. I'll just shape it into that and just get it as large as possible, just so then we can get a proof of concept. I should be able to clamp the cardboard to here, and then we can make the little slot to then make sure we've got all of this bit going on. So yeah, there's not really anywhere I can put a camera to sort of show you how I'm cocking about, but it's going to be the same as making any other template. It's just a flat piece, shaping it round and then doing that bit. Well, this is where we're up to. I did spend a little while on this bit of cardboard, although it's just a proof of concept at the minute. I figure that piece there, because it's flat, if I do that piece and get it sort of shaped in properly, then I haven't got to make another piece later to for the template for the metal. So, you know, I've shaped it in there nice, put rounded edges on it, and then sort of spent some time getting it in here. It's a bit tight here and here, but I can fettle the metal with that afterwards. So yeah, that's just on there, stuck on with a couple of magnets. What I want to do now is I need to take that little thing off, so then I can put the bar on, and then we can work out where the hole needs to be. Also, it sort of dawned on me as well, there might be some adjustment in this catch, so taking this off now, taking that little pin out, we can sort of resolve that. Let's say resolve it, you know. If it has got adjustment, we'll have to do it a different way. We'll have to make sure there's adjustment on the bar. Hopefully it's pretty fixed, and then I can just have the bar set, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'll get that off and then I'll be back in a second. Got the pin out, it's got a nice big hole in it already, so we haven't got to mess around with doing anything with that. The downside with that is though, this rod that I was going to use is, hold on, zoom out, come on, that's better. Yeah, the rod that I was going to use is just flapping around. So, hold on. Oops. I've got this other rod which is a bit thicker, but that fits in there nice. The only other option would have been sort of weld that up and then try and re-drill it, but yeah, I'll spend some time sort of bending this so it's got a little hooky doojimy flip in there. So, right, so the next thing we need to do is I've put the grill back on and worked out the sort of angle of the dangle where that needs to come, and it actually works out. It's going to be relatively square on this, but it does need to be quite low down. So I'm just going to use my ruler, come from there and get it at a decent angle so it clears the spring, but then get it in the centre of the oval, and then sort of hopefully not sort of too low, get it sort of around here somewhere. So yeah, I'll make a little slot in here. Let's say I'll use my ruler, sort of mark it, make a little slot in that. Then I'm also going to put a little kink in this bar. I'm not going to chop it down yet. Actually, yeah, I will. I'm going to put a kink in it so it'll go around there, and then I'll just cut it sort of up here somewhere, so then we can start working on the mechanism in here. Right, so let's see if we can work out sort of what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a rough proof of concept for the minute. Let's just make sure that it's going to do what I think it's going to do in my head. So there's no measurements really, I'm just, well, I mean, I'm obviously measuring, but it's just roughly. So that's 10mm. This is going to be the cam. So what do we need? 30mm. I reckon 30mm will work. Why not? That will work. cut these strips to simulate the rods of what I'm doing. I hope I'm staying out of your way. The bench is still a pile of crap. Right. And back in a minute I need to find a piece of wood. Right, I found a bit of wood. So I'm just going to use some screws as a proof of concept. Get out. Ouch. So, stuff this upside down. I didn't plan this out, it just seems really convenient. I genuinely think this is going to work. Getting excited to do things. Ouch. So, look at that. So in theory, pushing on that, yeah, look. So come up, bosh, proof of concept. So that's what we're going to do. I need to make one of them. I'm going to use some of that for that one. Just got to work out how we're going to attach it there. Use the other thin bar across there. Not sure if we're going to attach that. Although I've got other stuff, I might use that. I need to make a plate and a bracket and a mount, and that's essentially what we're going to make. I might not even be too far off the measurements I needed. Right, let's do some maths and see what we can come up with. Right, just been back over to the van. There's a problem that I should have foreseen. It's quite obvious when you think about it, but I didn't foresee. And that's the angle of that. So I mean, I'm thinking, or I was thinking, sort of like, that is perfect. But the problem is, it needs that mounting point, which is going to be there. and then that runs into that. So what we need to do is, as well as making a slot for this, we need to camber it back. So then we still get all the movement, but then it doesn't run into it. So the length of this is going to dictate what's what. So I think the first thing we need to do is actually cut the main mounting plate out. Yeah, I'll take some measurements. Right, so I've gone and got this hole cut, and you can see I've brought these bits over. The bar has just been cut, and I just put a little kink in the end. It's not cut to length at the minute, it's just cut so we can get it in. But what I need to do is, you can't obviously see because of behind, but I now need to work out the pivot point, which I think is going to be about there, and then that moves just like that. So before we go messing around trying to work out the pivot, I need to make a little bracket for behind it to then support it. So then, yeah, I'll meet you over the bench and we'll try and work something out with that. Right, so all we need to do really is just make a small support stand for the pivot, I think. So I want 2 tabs so I can clamp it and then plug weld it. Just need the top hat and then 2 little gussets. So in theory, there should be a nice straight edge on that. It should just be a matter of a couple of measurements. So I already know that that hole there is 20mm, so I'm going to start with a centre line. Start that way. So it is 20mm, and I reckon 5mm either side for the clearance. Are you in frame? Yeah. 5mm either side for clearance, so we'd say 30mm. We need 15 and a 15. So to cover the width of the pencil, we'll take it to 16. So line that up there. Line that up there. And that should be nice brush. In theory, then that should be 30. Just over. Just over. Right, now we want some tabs. So 10mm. And 12mm. So I reckon that's going to be the tabs. Now we need to work out how far this is coming out. Hold on. Oh, right, hold on. I need a pad, I need to draw this out so I can work out how to do this in the head. So, I need the platform. and it needs. Yeah, right, so we need 2 triangles off of that, and the tabs in there. Yeah, I had to draw that out so I could make sense of it in my head. So, yeah, what I was doing there is completely wrong. Right, start again. So, started with the centre line again. Nice faint line. So what did we say? We did 16 in that, didn't we?
I look like a young Brad Pitt, that's all I can say.
But you do look a little bit like Brad Pitt.
Right, so it should be 30mm that I wanted. Absolutely cop on. Now we need to work out the up. I think we made that square. Yeah. So we've got 30mm on that. So if that was, yeah, so that needs to come down there. So how far have we got up there? 20mm on that. Now, let's just screw it there. So that side. So that should come down there. Come down there. Then we need to add 12mm. So we should have 2 tabs. Right. So in theory, I should cut this out, and then we should make that. That. I hope. Everything's scored as well, so that should fold down nicely, that should fold down nicely, that should fold out. Then I can sit on there. Yeah, I'm going to tape this together and then I'll see you at the car. Right, so I've taped that little piece on, and then as you can see I've put the pivot on. I haven't measured it, I've sort of roughly did it. That second hole there is where I had it going the wrong way. It actually took me about 3 minutes to go, why is it, and then clicked. So yeah, I've done it so it's slightly off centre, so then that can be an angle and sort of sit over there and then push. So yeah, we'll just try it. I'll put the magnets back on and see if it does what it says on the tin. It's quite hard to do, obviously, with one hand, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So we messed around with it a little bit and got it sort of positioned, but that has the full range of motion. It's not bottoming out, it's doing exactly what it says on the tin. And then obviously it's going in and out. So what we need to do now is try and work something out for the front, because it needs to push, but then it also needs a support as well. Do you know what? Before we do that, otherwise we're going to get overly complicated. I think I'm going to make all of this out of the metal, get that worked out and finalised, then we'll mess around with this front piece. Yeah, we know that bit's doing what it's supposed to be doing now. So yeah, I'm gonna go cut some metal out. Yeah, all I'm gonna do is just use the templates and transfer it onto the metal. That piece there I'll show you how to make, because that's, I'm gonna have to completely redesign that on the metal, because it needs to be a little bit more slimline, it needs to be thicker, and so yeah, I'll design that piece with you, but the rest of it I'm just going to cut out. It's just straight. So this is where we're at. Got the base plate cut out. You see, just a template from that, nice and easy. Getting in that hole was a pain, getting that nice and neat, but that's done. And then there's the little bracket. Sort of made it a little bit smaller because it didn't need to be so big. So yeah, just trimmed it down, and yeah, that'll go on. I think it goes on that side actually, but yeah, it'll go on like that. And to my surprise, I actually managed to fold it so it's flat. So now we need to make that little piece, or something a little bit different to that, because yeah, that's not quite right. So I've got this 3mm plate here, and luckily enough for me, there's just enough on this end corner. So yeah, I'm going to clean all this up, and then we'll start working this out. Now it's all cleaned up, I'll put a little bit of Dicom on it. So that's pretty much what I need to make, but I need to make it a little bit bigger. So this is the rod that is going between sort of like on here and then the actual catch. So that needs to be a little bit thicker, but then this is the rod that I'm going to be using as the actual push button, as the push, just gets a little bit thicker. So need to do it so we've got a little bit thicker this side and a little bit thicker this side, and I'm thinking I might make it just a touch longer as well. So first thing I'm going to do is just square this off. I know this is pretty much a flat edge because it was plasma cut, so I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to start with that. So I reckon I'm going to do these. I think I did them at 10, didn't I? Yeah, it was just over 10. So I reckon for that, is 12 too much? I reckon 11 and a half. Yeah, 11 and a half works. Now, let me some of that. Is that 13 maybe? Don't want to go over the top with it. Yeah, 13 will be plenty. one thing I do want to do is I want to put a nice roundy bit in here, so oops, get off. I'll start by putting that up there so we can get that in the centre of them. Oh, we show with the length. What did we do? I can't remember. So I did it 30mm. So I reckon if we do it 35. I'm going to start at 35mm and then we'll, I can always trim it down. So there we have it, that is going to be the piece. So, first thing I'm going to do is, I do need to cut it out, but I want to drill a hole in here. If I drill a hole straight through this bit here, then I've got a nice circle there. So, yeah, I'm just going to chop this off, drill the hole in there over on the pillar drill, then I'll cut this up, and yeah, I'll be back. Got that shaped and got the pivot hole drilled in it. Now I need to work out the height of this is going to be. For the pivot I'm just going to be using a 5mm bolt, and that way I can sort of can adjust it if I need to. So basically, which way does it go? It goes in the car like that. That's going to go. Like that. Right. So as a happy fluke, I reckon that actually right in the middle of that is spot on. So right, I'm going to drill a hole. Alright, so I've just had it on the van, sort of holding it, you know, as best as I possibly can with it sort of floating around, and it actually seems like that is perfect. I did it a little bit too long with the idea of cutting it down, but with the position of it and everything else, it seems like we've got just enough throw in that hole. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill the two other holes and then get all this sort of shaped in, you know, sort of round it all over and finish that piece off. If that's done, dusted, then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drill the holes to mount this plate to the bulkhead. Right, excuse the camera work because this is all upside down and back to front for me in a minute. So right, the plate obviously goes in there quite nicely. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some holes around the outside edge, and then I'm just going to put some riv nuts in here, so then that will bolt on. Nothing extravagant, it's just going to be nice and simple straight in there. So here we're at in a minute. Right, so got that shaped in nice. Actually really happy with the way that is. I've gone through and bent over that end, so then that goes in there real nice. So then yeah, we've got a nice little pivot for that. This is going to be the push rod from outside of the car, and then I've drilled, I just punched them out the holes, so then that can be plug welded to the plate. So I need to sandwich that together. The plate's screwed onto the car at the minute. I need to sandwich all this together when we then mark out the position where that sits on the plate. So there's the plate sort of mounted up. I've only got 2 screws in it at the minute. It's, like I said, it's got the riv nuts all the way around. This is the basic stack for this. Needs some modifying, and I ain't going to be able to film the actual overall process. So yeah, that is bloody hell, hold on, that little bit pokes through that hole, sticks out there. So I need to work out the actual genuine position, because that needs to be sort of at that angle. So then that goes pop, and then yeah, that's the rod that's going to go through and then go tunk. Then that one can be cut down to then go ch-ch. I roughly marked it. I need to tie that off. That was just a rough mark to get the hole in the right place. So yeah, I'm going to get that marked out and then welded on. As I said, I can't really film that because I can barely see what I'm doing myself with my hands in the way, so it's pointless getting a camera involved. So this is where we're at, and what a palaver I have had. So I've got the bit welded on there all nicely, so we've got a nice little thing going on there. But then this bar, bending this, it just kept snapping. Twice I did it, and luckily 3rd time was a charm. Lots and lots of heat, very, very delicately. I mean, I did end up breaking my hammer whilst doing this because I threw it, but now that is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Latch is over, happy days. So now what we need to do is, hold on, knees, a lot of pain today. Right, so I've already cut and bent this rod, still left it, it's like 3 miles long in a minute. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with this angle. But yeah, the idea is that goes into that hole there and does move backwards and forwards. So what I need to do is make another plate to then come on here. I might sort of make it so it attaches onto this plate as well. We'll see how much clearance we've got. So then, yeah, so the idea is it needs to support this rod, stop it flapping around all over the place. Yeah, that's actually all it needs to do really. And then I need to cut this down to length for the so I can just sort of not poke out of the grill, but sort of just be within reach under the grill. Yeah, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is cut this roughly to length, so then I can put this in, because obviously with the this rod you have to sort of twist it in and stuff like that. So I'm going to cut it to length so then I can actually twist it into the hole without too many issues, and then we'll get back onto some CAD design to work out that. So now I've got the bar in, you can sort of see where we're at. You know, that will sort of poke through the grill. I need to work out what I'm going to do in the end. I don't want it just like that. I was thinking about putting like a washer with a nut on the back, or I might just sort of put a little kink in it, because it doesn't need a lot of pressure to push. But the main thing that we need to do now is just stop it doing that. And I reckon it's going to be quite simple. I'm thinking I've got plenty of room here, so I'm just going to make a little bracket that comes up and comes out, and then just make a little hoop to go over it, so it's just enough clearance, and that should just stop it flapping around. That's all it needs to do. Might sort of make it a little triangle, Yeah, nothing complicated. So I'm just going to crack on with that and just get it done, really. So the way I'm going to do this is pretty much the same way as I made that little bracket with a hole in it. So just going to make another one of them. But just bigger. So I'm going to start with, like I did before, with the centre line. Oh, my arthritis is playing up today. No strength in my hand. Right, start with the centre line. Nice and fine. Now I need this. I need 40 mil. So that's what I'm going to do. So 20 mil either side. 40 mil up. Do that. Then we need 15 mil lip. Yeah, so 40 that way. There, and then you just what's that? And that should be the gasket. Right, so let's see what that looks like when we cut it out. Right, here's my little cardboard template that I made. I accidentally scored it too much for the fold and it broke off, but it's not a problem. I can redo it. So yeah, that's basically just going to go on there like that, obviously squared up. Nice little bolt on that piece there. And then I'll make a hoop to go across that. And then that should keep it from flapping around and stuff like that. So let's go redo this. Well, I've got my metal dug out. I can't remember whether I showed you folding the folding and making the other bracket. I don't think I did, so I'm going to show you on this one. This is 1.6 mil steel, just mild steel. As you can see, this is like Zentek stuff, which I'll clean up. Yeah, normally what I'd do is, because I've made the template, I'll draw around it and mark it. Because I accidentally cut that tab off, I'll just remark it out on the metal, exactly the same as I did on the cardboard. So I'm going to get that done, get that cut out, and then you'll join me again on the folding. I've marked it all out, it's nice little scribe lines. One thing I'm going to do before I cut this little section out is I'm actually going to drill some holes in the corners here. I'm not going to show you because there's no room near the pillar drill to get the camera in. But yeah, I'm just going to drill 2 small holes here, which I'll explain when we come to fold it. There's the plate all cut out with the 2 holes drilled. The reason you drill the 2 holes is it just makes it a little bit neater on the corners. I've drilled these a bit too big, but it doesn't really matter for this. So all I'm going to do is get in the vise. Luckily my vise is wide enough. I'm going to do the 2 tabs at the same time. So just get it on the line. Make that down. I'm going to use a block of wood to start with, so I don't put any marks in it. Just a move. Now just finish it off with a panel hammer. Now, we'll do exactly the same on these. did you see that?
Okay, let's
Oh, that hurt.
questions.
Oh, that pinched that whole lot in there. Oh, just that frame, I think. The handle dropped down, and then that bit pinched me in the... Oh, wounded. There we go, and bracket made. Yeah, so there's the bracket all folded up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I've actually managed to get it so it doesn't rock as well. Look, it's not too bad. If it did have a bit of a rock on it, you can just sort of twist. Come on, focus. Just sort of twist it. But you can see now why, if you drill the hole, you just get a little bit of a neater sort of transition. And then, come on, don't mess around. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just sort of file that and make it look a lot neater. I'm thinking, because I don't need all of this at the top where it sticks up. Once I've marked out where the holes are, I am going to put a slight angle on this as well, same as the bottom, and shape it in a little bit better. So yeah, all I'm going to do now, I'll take it over to the car, or to the van, sorry, mark out where I need to drill the holes, then the slam panel, drill them out, and then put the riv nuts in, so then we can work out how to do the bracket to hold the bar in. This is the stage we're at, so that sits in there nicely. One thing I have noticed, which I didn't take into account beforehand, so I'm glad that we've done it step by step, is because of the way that is and the angle, it doesn't, I should have thought about it really, but it doesn't push in straight. I don't know whether it's going to come up on camera, but you see it sort of pushes over. So instead of I was sort of thinking of making a hoop, so then that stays in. Now I'm going to make like a little top hat thing to go on there. But anyway, let's sort of digression in a minute. What I need to do now is, when I was working out where this goes, I put the grill on, and this is going to need to be bent. It needs to come down a little bit and then come back out, because yeah, it's going to end up sort of around here somewhere. It's going to be a bit of trial and error, and again, taking this on and off, I can't really get the camera in, so I'll get this marked out, get this bent and tweaked, and do what I need to do, and then we'll come back when I'm making the top hat for that. So I managed to get it done pretty much in one go. I thought it was going to take a lot of messing around, but there it is, just in the centre of that, and yeah, that'll be a nice little push. So it's not visible from the front, but easily accessible if you know where it is. So there you can see the angle that I put on it. Wasn't a lot, it was just enough. This is actually stainless rod, so hopefully I should be able to clean this up, give it a little bit of a polish. Right, so what I need to do is, like I said, I need to make a little top hat, and then that will go something like that. So what I need to do is I need to make it so that the front end is pretty much just the width of this, but then it needs to taper out at the back, so then it's got clearance. So if I put these clamps on, I've just tested this out, so it should be fine. That at the front there, and then that at the front there. Oh, idiot. Right, so yeah, so there's like literally, oh, sorry, watching what I'm doing, not framing it. So yeah, literally just a tiny little bit of wobble there. That way you're not pushing it around when you're trying to find it. But then it just rolls out of the back. Doesn't need a lot of clearance, as you can see. You know, it's not moving by a lot, but it is moving. Again, this is going to be cardboard and just working it out, running backwards and forwards. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just drawing or marking out this side, because we know that that has to stay flat, and then doing that, sort of pushing that in, then marking this side, and then that should give us that the tapered bit. And then it's just a matter of working it out on the cardboard and making a template for it. What an absolute ball ache that was to make. I know I said I'd sort of show you how to do it, but I couldn't quite get it right with the cardboard. It took forever, and then I had to sort of mess around with doing it on the metal, but it's not quite right at all. It's not quite square, but I don't care, nobody's ever going to see it. So like I said, we've got very little movement on it, so it doesn't flap around everywhere, and then there's a little bit of clearance at the back. You can see the original marks, look, and that's as much movement as it needs. Oh, why is that stiff? So yeah, it just goes nice and simple. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to round all these edges off, clean this up like I said I was going to, get it back over here, clamp it all back up like it is, make sure it still works, and then get that welded. There it is, all finished. Actually well happy with the way it's come out. Need to clean everything up and give it a coat of paint and stuff like that, but for the minute that is done. You can see the mechanism in there, how that works there. All it is a nut and bolt, and then yeah, you've got the rod which I've shown you before. So yeah, buzzing. Not sure whether that actually comes up on camera. Yeah, you can just see there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. Yeah, literally just there. So just to get to it, that's it. So you got to do, just to show you sort of how easy it works. One finger. Beautifully done. Forgot to say, in case you was wondering, you know, how it's all going to sort of come apart, that is just enough that it fits through this gap, and then this bar bends up. So yeah, undo these, undo the rest of it, that should slot through, and then you just sort of twist it to then get that out. So that's what it looks like on the bench. So yeah, it all just unclips nicely. So I'll literally do it with one hand. Get off, he says. Hold on. Yeah. And then yeah, that bit will just unbolt. I would like to have sort of maybe done that with like a cotter pin and something like that, but maybe a rivet. That's good enough. There was no way I could do it as you know, a single piece. Not a single piece. There's no way I could have done it without bolting it, because that has to sort of go in. You know, that it couldn't do like a welded pin. It has to be a nut and bolt, so then that the pivot can come in and out. But yeah, I'm well happy with that. I wish there was another way that I could have done that plate. I think that's the only sort of ugly bit. From the back, that looks fine, but you're not going to see any of that. That's the bit that's going to be on the engine bay. But I've tried to do it as neat as possible. The hole is pretty good, the clearance is good. You know, it's got it pretty down in the centre as well. Yeah, like I said, I thought about doing something different with this, and then having it so like a nut. Focus, come on. Yeah, like a nut. Get. That's better. Yeah, nut with like a washer on it. So, and then screw it in. But I much prefer that idea. You know, it's a lot simpler. It just means that is now just a complete piece. But then again, you know, It's not too hard to, you know, put a little bit of grease in there if I need to. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's functional. I mean, to be fair, you don't see any of it. You know, it's all behind the grille and stuff like that, but I wanted to make it look as neat as I possibly can. So yeah, all I'm going to do is just take down the welds, give everything a coat of primer and some paint, and get it all fitted up. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something. I mean, I did as I was going through it. You know, making sort of brackets like that, it's not something I've really done before. The one thing that I really did learn is stainless doesn't like being bent in the middle. When I was doing the ends, like, hold on, doing like that on the end, not a problem at all, piece of piss. You know, just heat it up, it's it over, just went. But then trying to sort of bend it sort of like in the middle, you know, even with it like proper cherry red, it just fractured and snapped. So I don't know why that is. Maybe I did something wrong, but I mean, I tried it a couple of times. I tried it sort of like really getting it hot, extending it up, but yeah, it just snapped. So I don't know, I really don't know. Yeah, I'm happy with where that's come out. It was a bit fiddly in some places. I wish I'd put some adjustment in it somewhere, but it's mine. It's not, you know, it's not a Customs. If it was a Customs, I'd probably make some adjustment, you know, if something needs to be moved, but it's mine. I don't really care, as long as it's functional. It's easily accessible from underneath. Well, I say easily, it is accessible from underneath if it ever decides to fail. Yeah, it's just going to do a job. So yeah, like I said, hope you enjoy the video. Please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can do that with a bubble over here. Please hit the notification bell so you're informed of all the videos as and when I do them. And then if you have a look over here, there should be 2 tabs of some videos that I've done in the past. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye.